something is forming quietly in the space between you and someone specific. Something that did not announce itself, that did not come with warning signs or obvious buildup or the particular energy of something dramatic arriving. Something that has been growing the way the best things grow without making a lot of noise about it until it is simply there. Welcome. And let yourself be curious about this one. Because curiosity is exactly the right energy for what I am about to describe. Out of nowhere, I want to spend a moment with that phrase because it carries something important. Something about the nature of what is forming between you and this person and why the way it is forming is actually one of the most significant things about it. Out of nowhere means this was not the plan, not yours and not theirs. Neither of you engineered this. Neither of you sat down and decided, I am going to feel something for this person, or I am going to allow this connection to become something more than what it has been. It is simply happening the way real things happen without permission, without coordination, with the particular inevitability of something that was always going to arrive, regardless of what either person thought they wanted or expected or was ready for. And that quality, that out of nowhere quality, is one of the clearest signs that what is forming is real. Because real things do not arrive on schedule. They do not respond to planning. They do not wait until the conditions are convenient. They simply come when they come from the direction least expected in the form least anticipated. This is real. Now I want to tell you about this person and what has been happening in them, because the out of nowhere is not just about you. It is about both of you. And I think understanding what has been shifting in them will help you understand what you are preparing for and why the preparation matters. Something changed for them in how they see you, or how they experience you, or how they think about what you are to them. And whatever that change was, it was not dramatic from the outside. It did not announce itself with any obvious shift in behavior or any clear signal that something was different. But inside them, something tipped, a small thing, or what felt like a small thing in the moment, that turned out to be significant. The way small things sometimes are when they are the thing that finally tips the scale after everything else has been building quietly toward that moment. A moment when they saw you differently or felt something in your presence that they had not quite felt before, or noticed something about you, some detail, some quality, some way you were in a particular moment that reached something in them that had not previously been reached. And from that moment, something began without them naming it, without them necessarily even fully registering what had started, just quietly began. I want to describe what is forming between you as specifically as I can, because I want you to be able to recognize it when you feel it arriving rather than letting it pass or dismissing it as something ordinary when it is anything but. What is forming is a shift in the quality of the connection, not a new connection, a deepening of what already exists into something more honest, more personal, more specifically about you and them as individuals rather than as two people who exist in the same orbit. For whatever reason they have been in each other's orbits, it may show up as conversations that go longer than expected, that find a depth that previous conversations did not find, where something real is said. That reveals something true about both of you and creates a particular warmth in the space between you. After it has been said, it may show up as a new quality of attention from them, the specific way someone looks at you when they have started to think of you differently, when you have moved in their internal world from one category to another, and the shift has not yet been spoken, but is visible in the eyes, in the particular focus of attention that they now bring to you is less than 0. 5# is greater than that they were not bringing before. And it may show up as a closeness that neither of you explicitly sought, but that has arrived anyway. A gravitational pull toward each other in the natural way of two people whose energies have recognized something in each other that wants to be closer, that keeps finding reasons to be in the same space without either person engineering it. Now let me speak about the prepare part of this message, because it is not in the title casually. It is there because preparation is genuinely what this moment requires. And I want to tell you specifically what to prepare for and how. The first thing to prepare for is being caught off guard. I say this not to alarm you, but because when something arrives out of nowhere, when something that was not on your radar suddenly becomes very much on your radar, the natural response is surprise. And surprise has a way of producing reactions that are not always the truest version of what we feel, or what we want, or what we would choose if we had a moment to settle into the feeling before responding to it. Prepare for the surprise by deciding now, before it arrives, that when something unexpected happens with this person, you are going to give yourself a moment before you react, a breath, a pause, a small internal space where you can feel what is actually happening before the managed response takes over. Whew. The second thing to prepare for is your own resistance, because I know you, and I know that when something good arrives unexpectedly, especially in the form of connection, especially from a direction you were not watching, there is a part of you that pulls back, that looks for the catch, that asks, why now? Why this person? Why in this form? Is this real? Do I trust this? Do I trust them? Do I trust myself to navigate something I did not plan for? All of those questions are intelligent. All of them come from a place of self-protection that has served you in situations where protection was warranted But this is not one of those situations. What is forming is not a trap. It is not something to be suspicious of. It is not the universe testing whether you are wise enough to say no to something that looks good. It is something genuinely good, arriving in the form of a connection with someone specific that is ready to become something more than it has been. If you let it, prepare for your resistance by naming it in advance, by saying, I know I will want to pull back. I know I will look for reasons this cannot be right. I know that part of me will want to manage this before it has had the chance to become what it is trying to become. And I am choosing right now, before it arrives, to let it land without the management, without the resistance, long enough to see what it actually is. The third thing to prepare for is your own feelings. Because when this arrives, when the shift happens in the connection with this person, you are going to feel something that may be stronger than you expected, something that arrives with a conviction that is both exciting and slightly terrifying in the specific way that real feelings are when they are about someone specific rather than about the abstract idea of connection or love or belonging. You are going to feel it for this person, specifically in a way that has its own unmistakable quality. That does not feel like the ordinary liking of someone or the comfortable warmth of a familiar presence, but something with more charge to it, more specificity, more of the particular aliveness that only certain people produce in us. When we are genuinely moved by them, prepare for that feeling by deciding you will not talk yourself out of it, by deciding you will let it be as large as it is, without immediately shrinking it into something more comfortable to hold, by deciding that when you feel it, you will acknowledge it honestly to yourself first, and then when the time is right, perhaps to them. I want to speak now about what this could become, because the title says this could happen, and I want to honor the possibility of it without turning it into a certainty, because certainty about something that has not yet fully landed would be doing you a disservice. What I see forming has the ingredients of something real and lasting, has the quality of something that builds rather than burns, that deepens rather than fades, that has the particular sustainability of a connection built on something genuine rather than something circumstantial or surface level or driven by the newness of novelty. Whether it becomes exactly that depends on both of you, on what you both choose to do with what is forming, on whether you let it become what it is trying to become, or manage it into something smaller out of fear or practicality or the particular caution. That keeps good things from becoming great ones by requiring them to prove themselves before they are allowed to fully arrive. Do not require this to prove itself before you let it arrive. Let it arrive and then see what it is from the inside where the truth of it lives, who I want to tell you something about this person that I think you should carry with you as you move toward whatever is forming. They are nervous too. I want to say that clearly because I think it is easy to assume when something is forming from someone else's side that they have it more figured out than you do, that they are more certain, more confident, more ready, and therefore that the dynamic between you has you at a disadvantage somehow as the one who feels more or is more exposed or has more to lose. They are not more certain than you. They are not less nervous. What is forming for them is as unexpected as it is for you. They did not plan this either. They did not see it coming. And they are navigating something that arrived out of nowhere for both of you simultaneously in the way that real things sometimes do when they are meant to be navigated together. You are not alone in the unfamiliarity of this. You are two people standing on the edge of something that neither of you expected, and both of you feel that is a good place to begin. Let me close by telling you what the prepare of this message actually means in the most practical sense, because I want you to leave this message with something concrete that you can actually take into the days ahead. Prepare by staying open to moments that could become something if you let them, rather than deflecting them back into ordinary, the way we sometimes deflect things that feel too good to trust or too unexpected to receive without caution. Prepare by being present with this person. When you are with them, not managing the interaction, not performing a version of yourself that is safe to present, but actually present in the real and unguarded way. That creates the space for real things to happen between two people who are actually there with each other rather than with the managed versions of each other. And prepare by trusting your own perception. When you feel the shift, when you notice the quality of attention changing, when you sense that something is different from what it was before, trust that. Do not immediately question it or look for reasons it could be misreading or explain it away into something smaller. You have good perception when you use it, and it will tell you when this arrives. Before your mind has caught up to what is happening, something is forming out of nowhere with this person. It is real. It is good. And it is coming toward you in the quiet and inevitable way that the best things come. Prepare to receive it, not by bracing, but by opening. When it arrives, and it is arriving, let it